How you doing?
Hey, how are you? So are you going to
Good.
take the vaccine?
Oh, I am. Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
me too,
But
of
when it's my
course.
turn, when it's my turn, I will be the first one in line. When it's my turn.
And now it looks like we might even have production capabilities in Canada. Wouldn't that be fantastic?
Yeah.
I
So,
know
but that
there's a company in Quebec and there's a company out in the prairies, I think Saskatchewan, that has the capacity to do it.
but that won't be till the end of the year, though, right? I think from what I heard. So, I mean, it's
Maybe
better.
so.
Yeah, it's better to have too much than too little. So,
Well,
yeah,
and we might need to have a booster every year as well, so that we can produce it locally. We can produce it domestically.
good point. True. A
Hmm.
lot of questions. Busy day today, Mayor Crombie.
Oh, yes, back-to-back meetings all day. Yes.
Okay. I'll be asking you the tough questions here. So let's talk with about the South African variant found in Mississauga.
Yeah.
This person did not have any travel history or anything. How concerned are you about this being in Mississauga, being in Peel?
So very concerned because it's highly transmissible. And this person didn't have any history of travel, as you mentioned, or know of anyone that traveled, hasn't been close to anyone who's been, out of the country. So this has been, it's been transmitted to him through community spread. So as we know, it's very transmissible. So we just have to be, I hate using this word all the time, but extra vigilant. Just keep your distance from people. And this thing is airborne as well. So make sure people now are talking about double masking. I haven't done that yet, but I'm pretty much wearing my mask all the time, wherever I go, and sometimes even in my car. So I have it on when I get out of the car.
Well, let me ask you that then. I listened to all the doctors. I listened to Dr. Chuck Robarti from Trillium Health Partners, Dr. Bogosh, and I'm hearing a lot of people saying that they should be wearing masks possibly outside, right? Is that what are your thoughts on that? And can the city kind of create a bylaw that forces this on people?
So that is a good question. We had talked about whether or not we would require masks for outdoor activities like at the public skating rinks,
Yeah.
particularly enclosed ones or tobogganing hills. And, it's something that comes up. We decided no, we wouldn't because we're counting on people to do the right thing and keep their distance unless they're in the same household. But we have seen examples even, at Miss Celebration Square where people were in the lineup and too close. And now Osprey Marsh, which isn't even designed for skating. There have been far too many people coming out. And so there was again the discussion this morning at our morning policy meeting, team meeting, saying, is this something we should be looking at if there are too many people and it's hard to regulate? Should we require them to wear a mask outside? So right now it's not required. Toronto and Brampton, if you go on a public rink, it is. It
Okay.
is. So, we've been limiting crowds. But certainly there are people who do wear them. I feel like it's the one place if I'm outside walking, I don't have to. But then, you know, I usually have a scarf or a neck warmer on. And last weekend, I think you saw that I was over in the Column Trail, which
Yeah.
was just so beautiful. But if people are walking by me, I do tend to kind of pick it up. I pick up my neck warmer and put it over my nose.
Okay. But from a
Mhm.
legal standpoint, can the city mandate that, or would that have to come from the province or the feds?
So they've done so in Toronto and Brampton at the rinks, but can you mandate it broadly for outdoor activities? That's a good question. I'll follow up with it. Certainly, we would highly recommend it for starters if it came to that, and then we would look at it, sure. But it's only Toronto and Brampton that I'm aware of on the public rinks because I think they were having far too many people come out to do ice skating as well, but not on the trails or in public on sidewalks yet.
Okay, let me ask you this, because if you are getting gas, right, and you're pumping gas yourself, would you wear a mask?
To purchase gas if I'm the only one there.
No,
Um,
it's kind of busy. I'm just asking because I got in trouble for that. So,
did you get in trouble for not wearing a mask? I haven't, but sometimes I have my mask on in the car. So sometimes I come out and pump
okay.
gas and still have it on. I don't think I haven't made a point of it just to pump gas unless I see other people around.
Okay.
Because usually
Uh,
I insert my credit card and I don't see anyone.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about February 10th. Where obviously the numbers
Mm.
today was messed up. I think they said 735, but Toronto didn't put in their numbers. So, but it's probably about 15 to 1800 now. Do you think February 10th is kind of a realistic date for?
See, do you know what February 10th is for me when you said that? That's the day we honor Hazel.
Oh, okay, well that too. We'll talk about
And
that
we
later.
just got out of a staff meeting to discuss it.
Okay.
So the question is, will we be reopening?
Yeah.
And I thought you would ask me that. And the reality is, I don't know the answer because the province will decide. And I think we're going to get a response tomorrow on whether or not schools will reopen. And if they do reopen, that would be, so they were scheduled to reopen like next Wednesday and they would go to school Thursday and then Friday was a PA day, or I believe. So probably not till after the long weekend. I
Okay.
bet it would be the Tuesday. What's that? The 16th after the long weekend.
Yeah. For family.
I think after family weekend, I think schools could go back then. Now, will we open? Will we be reopening our small businesses? So we had some good news yesterday. We had double digits.
Nice. Well. Okay.
61 new cases versus today back up to 140. What was it? 141, I think. Um, so maybe yesterday was more an aberration. We're still hovering around 135 to 145, 140 cases per 100,000. And in fact, those are our daily numbers as well. And the new numbers come out tonight. So yesterday was maybe a little bit of a blip, but nonetheless, we're on the right trend. So, and we talked about this last week as well, to get into the red zone from the gray zone is 40 cases.
Yeah.
So we have a long way to go, but we are trending downwards. So that is very good news. And certainly the mayors have started to advocate for a plan to reopen. Like, let's start talking about it so people can get excited about it and put everything in place. And, we've been advocating for capacity limits. Let's be sure that we open everything up, but there be capacity limits in place for starters. So that's what we're looking at, and that's what we've been discussing.
Okay. Let's talk about.
But will it happen on the 10th? Given the numbers, I would give it another couple weeks.
Okay.
To be sure.
Let's talk about the other February 10th event, which is more enjoyable. So, So, what's going on with the Hazel McCallion 100 years? It's crazy.
I know, right? 100. Just 100. Wow. So we're pretty excited about it. Of course, we have a video prepared from the staff on everything that's happened while she was mayor. That was fantastic. I know that also Ron Duquette has done that tribute video, which we'll all be watching on, I think it's on the 14th it will air. And he's done kind of highlights from it for about 2 minutes. And then Trillium Health Partners has a video as well to promote the book, right?
Okay.
So there will be 3 videos, and then of course there will be some speeches, of course, from some prominent people and also from counselors, and hopefully she'll enjoy it. What's the next best thing we could do for her, right? Since we can't all be together and there's not a big gala or a special celebration. I mean, we're not even going live to the library, right? We're this all virtual. So it's a shame, but I think nonetheless, we may even send something nice to her home for her, but so it'll be very nice. I hope everyone watches the council. There's a general committee meeting on the 10th.
Will she be live? Like, will she do an actual kind of chat live quickly? Say thank you?
She will make comments. Sure she will. Oh yeah. Probably at the end to wrap it all up, she will. I'll speak and others will speak, and there'll be the videos and the tributes. Yeah, it'll probably be about an hour of council time. So hoping other people aren't on the agenda that day.
I can't imagine. So let's go back to COVID topics here. The Canada Post outbreak, it's up, I believe, up to 287 now or something.
Just shy of 300.
Yeah.
Shy of 300, and they're isolating. Unfortunately, one death, and again, my condolences out to the family, and it's a very unfortunate situation. And they are utilizing the rapid testing, the PCR testing,
Okay.
at Canada Post and at Amazon. Those are the only two large organizations that I'm aware of using rapid testing, other than the airport, of course. So I would, it would be great to get into the hands of other large organizations, particularly where they have many employees over various shifts.
What's the latest you've heard of kind of the ticket blitz for big box stores and such? Did we get hit? You have that? Yeah? No? Yeah?
Right. So, well, I know how much you like the bylaw numbers, so the enforcement numbers. So I always be sure to print those. I've got good news. There was no blitz here last weekend,
Okay.
And things are improving. Remember, even we talked about the speakeasies. Even
Yeah.
that is kind of gone further underground or just closed up shop entirely. There was, I think, only one where they had a bit of a standoff with a group. So past week, let's see, charges and fines 15. Stay-at-home orders $750. Charges this week 23 in total. Let me describe to you what they were. Soccer field, private residential gathering, cafe, construction site, part 3 summons. That means they probably shouldn't have been open. Gathering in a commercial space, that's for those speakeasies again. That
Yeah.
happened again. There were 2 of those on Saturday. Gathering at private residential, there were 2 of those. Restaurant and another construction site. So, and then there were some security highlights where they were concerned about some kids playing hockey or skating on the Osprey Marsh. Even on the Osprey Marsh, that is very unsafe ice. That is a bigger concern that up until this weekend, you know, that ice wasn't solidly frozen. It wasn't safe for kids to be on it. So we were, of course, really concerned. 200 people tobogganing was a problem at Birchwood. And a lot of people skating, playing soccer. And again, if the ice isn't safe, please, could have a bigger problem than a fine.
When you say a standoff, what happens in a case like that? Like they just refuse not to close and just say, "Here, give me the ticket, and we won't close," or what happens?
More so, they refuse to open the door.
Oh, oh, okay. So and
Right?
then
So we know they're there, and bylaw and police were waiting outside.
true. Okay. Toronto started talking about gradually reopening. Tory did last week. Does Mississauga have plans to gradually reopen? Have plans in place for the
So
businesses, main streets?
again, right. So again, you know, this is something that we talk about with all the mayors on the Monday afternoon calls, and we're all very hopeful for safe reopenings. And I would like nothing better than to get our businesses open. But then, you know, what I don't want is the numbers to skyrocket again and have them close. Let's just open once and not the greater uncertainty is when they open and they close and they reopen again. So let's do it. Let's do it right. Let's get the numbers where they're controllable. And the numbers are looking good, Khaled. My concern is with these new variants that are highly transmissible. And we've already seen one example of the South African virus at Trillium Health Partners. And there are a UK variant is already presented here in Mississauga as well. So those are the concerns. You know, so and we could see an increase in numbers just when we're seeing stabilization. The hospital numbers were looking pretty good. We did have our public health call last night. We are down pretty significantly. Even the testing is 700 cases they tested. Positivity rate is under 10%, which is great. They only have 56 patients at Trillium Health Partners. That was 150 2 weeks ago, right? 14 in the ICU. Again, that was 35 2 weeks ago. So things are stabilizing. Vaccines, they've done 13,500. William Osler's done 10,800, and public health again another 10,000. So they're over 30,000 in vaccines, which is great as well.
Everything's on the right track.
Everything's on the right track. And of course, I want to look at the hospital numbers first, then the case
Yeah.
numbers. They are still transferring patients out. So that has taken a bit of the pressure off, has given them some relief. Trillium Health has transferred 185 patients, and 90 of them, half of them were COVID. William Osler, the same. They've transferred about 200 patients, and these patients are now getting transferred to hospitals in Hamilton and in Niagara. That's because no one has capacity anymore. So hopefully things are stabilizing even in the Toronto area, because we used to transfer to downtown Toronto hospitals, and now it's further and far afield. But things are stabilizing. They're going in the right direction. That gives me a lot of hope. I think people are doing the right thing. People are generally doing the right thing. And they want to, of course. Everybody wants to reopen and get life back to normal.
True. Let's talk about sick pay. This is the other broken record question I ask, at least for the last month and a half. Is there anything more on that?
Big sigh, right? We try. I hope you saw the letter to the editor, excuse me, that Mayor Brown and I co-authored. I have had the discussion with, excuse me.
Do you have water there? Yeah,
I do actually. So we're going to continue to keep the pressure up along with the mayors and the GTA. I mean, I think the federal government feels very strongly that they have provided the supports, the financial supports. We're asking basically for a top up and to, if possible, backstop those companies that should be offering sick pay. The provincial government, I think they canceled the sick days that the Wynne government had made available. I think they're not supportive of providing allocated sick days. So we have another standoff.
Yeah.
So we just need to keep the pressure up, because clearly it's the right thing to do, and it's certainly seen success in other jurisdictions where they've used them. And you saw the numbers yourself based on the articles we wrote. The research that Public Health has done, they looked at 8,000 individuals, residents who were symptomatic and who had contracted COVID in a workplace setting, 8,000 people since August of 2020. 25% of them, so 2,000 of them, continue to go to work symptomatic.
That's crazy.
And 80 of them went after a positive test.
Wow.
So, we know people are trading off, going into work because they need the paycheck rather than staying home or going to an isolation center. We know that that's happening. They need the sick pay. They need the assurance that they will receive wages so that they can do the right thing and stay home and know that their family will still be fed that week or those 2 weeks.
True. Dr. Lowe recently called on the province to step in to restrict people from buying non-essential items online in bid.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah. So obviously it's a fulfillment centers, right? That, sell DVD players and stuff. I sound old when I say DVD players, but I mean
electronic equipment.
Yeah. So stuff that we don't really, right?
Well,
so I mean,
right. Well, you can argue that though. What if your computer goes down and your children are doing online learning? They certainly need a computer. Yeah, sure. Or if you're working from home and your children need some entertainment, you can perhaps argue. Anyways, nonetheless, fair is fair. Fair is fair. If the smaller retailers cannot open their stores to sell those items, then the larger retailers and the big box chains or the Amazons shouldn't be able to either. So I think he's on the right track. As you know, I tried to have the non-essential aisles closed down of those big box. My council was not supportive of that. Certainly the province wasn't supportive of it. The premier made the phone call to me along with the CEO of Walmart to tell me that would create huge supply chain issues. Okay. I said, I don't know. They seem to do it in Manitoba and Saskatchewan, okay, but guess we can't do it here. So it's too bad. It should be a level playing field. There should be one group, one sort of sector of companies, because they're large multinationals, shouldn't have such a competitive advantage over the smaller retails. Fair is fair. So we shut down all our small retailers, shut down all our restaurants, all our gyms. You can't let the big guys in selling those products that people could easily have sourced locally at our local retailers. I think it's fair. I think he asked for the right thing.
Okay. And February is Black History Month.
It is.
What is the city of Mississauga doing? I know that there's a few events. I saw stuff from Heritage Mississauga and stuff.
So I have a Black Caucus Advisory Committee, and we've been working very closely to create a special event, a virtual event, of course, here. And I believe it's the 23rd of February that we have our event. And we're organizing a lot of entertainment and fun things to, pay tribute to all the contributions that our Black residents have made. And we have people from everywhere, frankly, from Africa, from the Caribbean, everywhere. And they're huge success stories and the contributions they have made in every sector, frankly. I won't start naming them, but in every sector. So we're going to, pay tribute to that. Hope it's the 23rd. Here, I'll see if I'm getting a message here. What is the date of? Okay, keep talking. I'll find out for sure. Date of Black History Month event. Okay.
You'll get it by the end of the show.
No, they're on it. They're watching. They're watching, they're listening. So somebody's typing right now.
They're the one that tells you, do not tell Khaled that.
No, he won't be saying that. The 23rd, I was right. Yeah, the 23rd, in the evening. Exactly. That's what I thought it was, but I just didn't have it right here at my fingertips.
Awesome.
Thank you. They always watch. They always watch, and they always tell me I give them a heart attack.
Oh.
And then they say they learn things.
They do. They love this conversation. They're all like, are they good friends with you? And I'm like, I think they are now. But since we've been talking,
because we're so informal. Look, I'm not even wearing a suit anymore.
I know. You can have water.
I'm in like a comfy sweater and everything.
I'm in my Stella Kennedy top.
Oh yeah, very good. I'm in my home with the painting of my family. Yeah.
So I'm going to get to some viewer questions.
Sure.
And this is a very serious topic. I know in Toronto, I think 48 hours ago they had 40 opioids, deaths within a 24-hour period. How is the opioid crisis in Mississauga?
So I don't have the specific numbers, but obviously it's rampant. It's everywhere, and certainly police are on the lookout for it as well. And the Region Appeal provides support, of course. So I don't have the numbers, and we'll try and dig them up since my staff are listening. Let's dig up the opioid numbers for next week for you. But of course, it's prevalent in every urban area, well, in every community, but much more so in every urban area. And actually, a couple of years ago, the mayors did a focus on the opioid crisis, and John Tory led a group, and we brought in the former mayor of Vancouver, Gregor Robertson, who had done a lot of work to combat the crisis in Vancouver and to bring it under control. And you don't hear about it quite as much anymore, but because they've done a lot of work. But certainly it's everywhere, absolutely. And so it is here too. Certainly maybe not as prevalent as in the city of Toronto or in Vancouver, but of course we have it. Perfect. And it's not just, you associate people with mental illness taking opioids. It's like normal people who sustain a workplace accident or have a car accident and inadvertently become addicted. So it affects everyone in every demographic as well.
Very true. So we'll have more information next week about it. For the viewer that asked that question, thank you very much. Are you going to do a blitz for condos and apartments? Common area rules. I think Toronto had a blitz. They pretty much put out signs in elevators saying, put on your mask. Is Mississauga going to do the same thing?
So we haven't done that yet. So we have great bylaw, and they are very proactively going out to sites, as I've described, where they know that there will be bad behavior, shall we call it, bad actors, bad behavior, but we haven't stood outside or inside the common areas of condominiums or apartment buildings and said, wear your mask. I've actually seen fairly good compliance, but yeah, I have, but we just go where we know there'd be bad actors and bad behavior.
Anything else you'd like to bring up, talk about, anything that you guys are working on? Those are all new questions.
Let's talk about congregate settings. We have, I think, 10 in Mississauga for a total of 21 in Peel. We're in Outbreak. There are 7 retirement homes, 8 group homes in Outbreak. Oh yeah, we'll talk about the case numbers. As I said, we're 145 in Mississauga, coming down
Okay.
per 100,000. Peel 180, but again, coming down. Positivity rates are nicely coming down as well. We're at 8% now. So that's very, very good. Even Brampton has come down to about 11%. So things are starting to stabilize. I always like to have those numbers handy for you too. So very good. And we talked about the enforcement. Those are always the things I print up for you. The hospital, okay. The stats in the hospital, the case numbers, the bylaw enforcement.
And you got
you're typically asking about.
You got some fans here because it's your birthday Friday, right?
Who knew?
Is it? Right?
Yes, but
yeah, okay.
But it doesn't count. This year was frozen in time, right? This year was frozen in time.
One of the comments said, "What are you doing for your birthday?"
Aww. Okay. Yeah. So I have a favorite cake.
Okay.
And I ordered one, like for myself and my daughter. Okay. And then I called back and said, they need the business. I'm going to order a big one and I'll just freeze it. So I love something called sucker tort, which is dark chocolate with apricot inside. And they make it at Apricot Tree because Franz, who's there, he's the pastry chef of world renowned. He's been trained many, many places, and he makes sucker tort if you special order it. So we'll have a little dinner and we'll have sucker tort, and I'll be very happy.
Make sure you post, please, so I can comment.
All right, I'll take a big slice. It's very, very rich, so you only need a tiny bit, but it's absolutely delicious. I think 2 years ago, we had a planning meeting on the night of my birthday, and I didn't make a big deal about it, but I left in the common area where we pour coffee, this big cake. Yeah. And let them all take a slice, and they're all cutting into it. So I brought a sucker, and it was the sucker tort.
Nice.
My favorite. From the Sacher Hotel in Austria, right, in Vienna. There is actually a Sacher Hotel in Vienna. Yeah, where they make sucker tort.
Well, I'll message you on Friday. So
thank you so much.
That was one of the compliments.
So but I don't actually age a year this year. We've decided that, right? No, because this year is frozen in time. It's just a blip. We'll all wake up and it was a bad dream. So I'm not taking on this one. It's not aging this year. Not you. What about you, Khaled? What month are you? I've forgotten.
October 6th.
I do. I think I sent you happy birthday greetings. So you don't have to take it either because it was right in the heart of COVID.
Exactly. I'm 33.
Me too. Again, yeah. Well, I'm celebrating that anniversary this year. Yes.
Yeah, do you see my eyebrow go up? Okay. Okay.
Thanks so much.
All right. See you next week.
Thank you.